Everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some of the hottest stocks, some of the from today's trading day. We'll take a look real quick at some of the stocks that were in play. Okay, first up is HMNY, closed up 18%. As you can see down here, the bullish move today was the close above this green line, which is the 50-day simple moving average at 930. It needs to close, stay above that level and then break above this 100-day simple moving average at $10 and the top of the gap. There's a gap between low of day on this candle and high of day on this candle. So if it can close above that $10 level and turn it into support, it could continue its way up to $15. Fail to break that $10 level and it could consolidate. Notice the volume spike below. Okay, take a look at UGAZ, closed up 13% today. If you look down here, you'll see that UGAZ, UGAZ, is hitting the 100-day simple moving average here at $94. That's the big level to break. It's gotten up to that level a couple times in the last few months and it hasn't been able to close above. So if it can close above that level, that's going to be very bullish, signaling more upside potential. And then we'll be talking about possibly continuing on to that 200-day simple moving average. We'll be talking about the $100 level. If it fails to get above that 100-day simple moving average, it will signal it's not ready to head higher and it could consolidate. You might see it pull back and test that 50-day simple moving average. Right now it has a really strong uptrend going, so all it has to do is close above that 100-day simple moving average to continue. Okay, let's look at CYTR, closed up 24% today. Very nice move. So this had a break above the 50 and 100-day simple moving averages. As you can see on this chart, it's been on a really long downtrend. Back here in November, it got above that 50-day simple moving average briefly, but it failed to hold that level and it pulled back. Well, today it busted above the green line, the 50-day simple moving average at 190, and above the 100-day simple moving average at 218. If it can stay above the gold line, 218, that will signal more upside potential. It needs to break this high close from back here in November. If it can break above that, then we'll be looking for potential move up here to the 200 and 300-day simple moving averages. Fail to stay above that 100-day simple moving averages, and the candles could work back in the bands to test that 50-day simple moving average support level. Notice the big volume spike below. Okay, let's look at CERC. Nice multi-day run here. RSI is at 66. As you can see here, it broke above the middle Bollinger Band yesterday, and then today it continued. What it needs to break now is the closing price here on the 27th of December. It's right about 405 or so, 407. If it can get above that level, this closing price, that'll signal it wants to head higher. If it goes up there and hits that $4 resistance zone and fails to break, that could be a temporary top. As long as this middle Bollinger Band at $3 holds, this uptrend should continue. So yeah, nice move by CERC. Keep in mind it was trading at 69 and after hours trading, so it was moving higher. Notice the upper wick on today's candle. So high of day is was it 379. So as long as it closes or opens below 379, there wouldn't be unfilled space on the chart if it did have a gap up open. And then the big level that breaks that upper Bollinger Band at 382. Let's look at AKER. Okay, closed up 10% today. This stock is in has a new uptrend going. If you look here, it's above 50 on RSI. You want to see it stay above 50. So yeah, it got above the middle Bollinger Band back here on the 16th. So this close above the middle Bollinger Band signaled the possible start of a new uptrend. And so the candles have been holding this level. It came back, it filled the gap. There was a gap between these two candles that filled, and now it's back above EMA 4 at 24. You want to see it stay above that level, and then there's a gap between low of day on this candle and high of day on the low of day on the 18th and high of day on the 19th of December. What we're looking for is if it can break above this closing price here on the 17th. At 30 cents, then it could run up here to that 50-day simple moving average and fill the top of the gap. So that's where this is headed if it can hold on, if it keeps riding EMA's 4 and 8 support. As long as that middle Bollinger Band at 18 support's holding, the uptrend is intact. Okay, let's look at ANTH, closed up 8% today. If RSI is above 50 now at 51, the chart's really heating up. You want to see Fasto get above 50. There was a bull cross on ADX. And so this closed above the middle Bollinger Band today. So if if it can stay above 150, that's the dotted purple line, that's going to signal a possible start of a new uptrend. Notice it got a downtrend going when it closed it below the middle Bollinger Band on the 8th. Now it has some work to do. It needs to get above this 150 and 200-day simple moving averages, but if it can close above 174 and turn it into support, it could keep moving higher. So keep an eye on ANTH. Okay, let's look at GALT. Closed up nearly 11% here. As you can see, it has a sideways channel going, and you know, it did bounce today after pulling back for 3 days in a row. It has a really nice uptrend going. Okay, so it got an uptrend going back here in December. I've been writing EMA 4 support higher, the pink line, and then it broke below here yesterday, and it tested that EMA 13 and bounced off that level. That's the orange line. You want to see 515 hold. As long as the middle Bollinger Band at 457 is holding, this uptrend is intact. Okay, so the big level to break now is the closing price in the 17th at $6. If it can close above $6, that's going to signal that it wants to keep pushing higher. And then I said sideways channel because for the last few days it's been trading sideways, so it just needs to bust above resistance to keep this uptrend going. Now, if you see it drop below support, then you could see that 450 level tested. Okay, it has to hold that level to keep the uptrend going. Okay, let's look at NIHD. Okay, so this has an uptrend going as well. It closed up 11% today. As you can see down here in December, it bottomed. Well, it really bottomed down here in the end of November. You know, it formed a bottom at 25 here in December, and then, you know, it keeps pushing higher. And so keep an eye on this one. It bounced today, following 4 red candles in a row. It's still in a very strong uptrend. It held EMA 13, the same moving average we just talked about. That's at 62 here. You want to see that hold. You want to see the 200-day simple moving average in the middle Bollinger Band. If you're a bull, hold 55 and 57. As long as those levels hold, then this uptrend's intact. You know, it broke above the middle Bollinger Band, the 50-day simple moving average, the 100-day simple moving average, and now it's turning the 200-day simple moving average into support. If it can get above the closing price over here on what is this, the 12th or 11th, up here around 77, then that's going to signal it wants to break out higher. It has some resistance from back here in May and June, and if it can get above that around 85, then it could run up to dollar land and test that 300-day simple moving average. That could be where it's headed, so keep an eye on it. The uptrend is still intact. Okay, let's look at ARGS. Closed up 11% today. So yeah, there's a lot of chatter on stock twits. Yeah, people are, you know, I guess there's earnings tomorrow, I believe. I think if I read that correctly, don't hold me to it, but I think that's what it said. And so yeah, people are you know, placing their bets, I guess. Just keep in mind, anytime that you're long, when a stock is forming candles below EMA 4 on the daily chart, it's a risk to hold. And right now, today, it did close below EMA 4 at 244. It needs to close above that level. A close above 244 and EMA 4, that'll signal that it's ready to go. If today it head faked everybody, it ran up to EMA 8 and pulled back, and so it's not ready to go unless it closes above that level, and then it has to stay above that level to keep the bounce going. A new uptrend won't begin until it gets up here above this middle Bollinger Band at 304. Keep an eye on it for the 50 and 100-day simple moving average. You can see back here in the beginning of January, it got above the 100-day simple moving average, but failed to turn it into support and pulled back. You know, it tried to get above the 100-day simple moving average back here in November and failed. If it can get above 340, that's going to finally be the signal that it's ready to get going. If that middle Bollinger Band and especially EMA 4 remains resistance, that's going to signal more downside risk. Okay, let's look at REXX. Closed up 11% today. You have RSI at 51. So this is you know, a piece of junk. Okay, so it's you know, one of those penny stocks that you know, likes to sell shares. So every once in a while it pops. And so today, what's interesting is the volume spike. It had the big volume spike today. It had the big spinning top, long upper and lower wicks with a small real candle body, but it did close above the middle Bollinger Band. We're keeping an eye on it for a close above that 50-day simple moving average, the green line there at 170. If it can close above that level, it might get going. And then the 100-day simple moving average is the big level to break. As you can see, it's tried multiple times to break that level and failed. Keep an eye on it. There's some recent big volume. Energy sector has been moving. Maybe this is the time it gets going. Okay, let's look at RGSE. So yeah, so with the solar tariff thing, it had the you know, the solar stocks were in play yesterday after hours. Today they didn't do much, even though it was up 33%. As you can see, the black candle formed. This you know, had the gap up open, and then it closed below the open with the long upper and lower wicks. And so yeah, so basically this is an indecision candle. Shows the bears were actually in control into the close, even though it was up 33%. What it needs to do is hold this 50 and 100-day simple moving averages. If it can stay above 144, that'll be bullish. It needs to get back above this closing price on the 27th. If it drops below the 50 and 100-day simple moving average, it will signal consolidation. Notice there was a giant volume spike today. And another one to take a look is SUNW. As you can see here, it's hitting that 100-day simple moving average at 125. Notice the gap over here did fill. If it can close above 125, that'll signal it wants to head higher. Failed to break that level and it will consolidate. This actually has a nice uptrend going. Look for a possible run up to 145 if it gets above the 100-day simple moving average. Okay, please come check us out in our chat. I'll post the link below the video. Thanks for viewing the video. Hope this information helps. To learn more about charts and technical analysis, check us out at mychartcoach.com. And yeah, always check out the YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com.